The next unit of measure, one with which you may not be familiar, is called the radian. And you can see the definition written here, and I've left the definition of the degree in place for the contrast. A radian is a central angle, which again means with its vertex placed at the center of the circle, that cuts off an arc on the circle that is exactly the same length as the radius of the circle. And here's a picture of that definition. Notice the difference. Notice how much larger the rotation is for the 1 radian angle than it is for the 1 degree angle. Because with the 1 radian angle, we're beginning to talk about going around the circle not in degrees, which we can see is very small, as it says 1/360th of a complete rotation around the circle. We can see that the radius, and therefore the 1 radian angle, is talking about something considerably larger. Okay, so here's the question I want to ask. Does the size of a circle determine the size of a degree or the size of a radian? In other words, does a degree angle get larger with a larger circle and smaller with a smaller circle, and the same with the radian? Now, let me show you a picture here to help clarify this. Here we go. Here's a picture of a pair of concentric circles, as they're called. And notice that if we were able to take the big circle off by itself, we would see this whole angle. With the small triangle or circle, if we took it out, we would only be able to see this much of it. But that's the corner of that central angle. Notice that what is growing as you go from one circle to a small circle to a larger circle is not the size of this rotation right here. It's changing the relative size of the arc on the circle, and actually the sizes are relative. They're actually in the same ratio as the ratio of the radius of the small triangle to the radius of the large triangle. So don't let the thought that size of a circle makes a difference in how big an angle is in terms of its unit of measure. Regardless, we're still measuring just this corner, even though if the circle was really, really large, that same angle would appear to cut off a very, very large arc on that circle. Yet that arc, even though it physically is larger than these two arcs, would still have been generated by this same degree measured angle or this same radian measured angle. And it's logical. If you think about the definition of a radian as being an arc of the circle that cuts off a length that's 1 radius of the circle, then of course the bigger the circle, the larger the radius. And if this were a 1 radian angle, then these extended sides of that angle would cut off a larger arc, which would still be equivalent to the radius of that larger circle.